usually the quality of our lives are dependent on the questions we dare to ask. Okay? Because questions make us think differently rather than just follow the crowd or go with the flow. Okay? Many times we tend to lose ourselves, our sense of direction, yung linaw ng calling that we have in this lifetime because nadadala tayo sa agos ng journey o ng ginagawa o ng nakasanayan ng ibang tao. Okay? So, bakit ako nagpapa-Q&A? Part of my hugot is that your questions will actually become a gateway for discovering a different part of who you are. Okay? So it becomes sort of a mirror, especially if binato mo yung question in a group, in a space, in like relationships na no-honor yung mismong question na yun with no judgment. And the goal is to actually just help you process things. Okay? Ayan. Well, may tanong tayo dito actually. Bakit po Kage? Okay? Bakit po Kage? Kage is actually derived from an anime. It's based on Naruto. Okay? Kage is basically, dun sa anime, yun yung parang president of a nation. Yan. He's the leader of the nation. The sole purpose of Kage, actually the twofold purpose ng isang Kage dun sa anime na yun is both to protect yung buong nation. Okay? And pangalawa is to be a role model. Yan. In a sense, doon nga lang, syempre anime siya. Parang ang pinaka-role model doon is how to continually grow in strength. Which coincides with kung patuloy na de-develop yung Kage, mas mapoprotektahan niya yung nation. So yeah, Kage also means shadow. It's actually a Japanese term for shadow. And I just love to be behind the scenes. Yeah. So parang whenever I try to give value or whatever, it's usually not as grand. I love the one-on-one sessions. I love kumbaga, yung mga gaps, yung mga taboo topics na pinag-uusapan na hindi basta pwede pag-usapan like in a general manner. Usually minsan mga nuances ng love life, ng family, handling relationships, di ba? Mga inner thoughts like mga what if, anxiety, stuff like that. Yeah, even mental health issues are included and a whole lot. Yeah. I guess that's my explanation kung bakit Kage. Yeah. Okay, sige. The same invitation applies. Pwede pala business questions coach. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, any question under the sun. We're actually open to any questions.
Ah,
Um,
pwedeng
go ahead, Melody.
question na. Bali, dalawang question, magkaibang topic. Yung una, actually last time ko pa dapat i-ask to. Ano yung mauna? Yung building systems or getting clients / doing business activities? Kasi yung system, like process in getting clients, di ba parang medyo matrabaho din siya. Or parang take action muna bago mag-develop ng system.
All right. So here's my take on that. Okay. It actually depends on the game that you're playing. Okay. So you can think of a game in business as gaano kalaki yung binubuo mo. Okay. So even sa businesses, meron tayong micro, may small, di ba? Tapos may medium enterprise, tapos meron yung talagang established na enterprise level. So iba-iba rin yung galaw sa bawat level ng business that you are trying to build. A few distinctions. Example, sa micro, ang annual earnings lang nila is less than 3 million pesos. Okay? Required lang sila mag-register on the barangay level. And then yung taxes nila don't actually apply the same way as larger businesses. Okay? So there's the game that you are playing. Anong category, anong laki ng game yung piniplay mo. Okay? Because that, mag-iiba yung actual na galaw, choices, even options na available for you to grow that specific venture. Okay? Of course, you can always scale up. You can start smaller, tapos eventually play a bigger game. That's totally fine. Pero kailangan kasi makita natin ano yung binubuo natin in the first place. Up to what extent yung tina-target natin. Okay? Is this in the context more of a freelancer? Like a solopreneur type of venture?
Yes,
Right.
sasagutin ko.
Gotcha. So, kung mag-isa ka pa lang and your only considerations are ikaw lang na may nasa operations, ikaw lahat, di ba? In freelancing, you're offering your skills, di ba, as a service. So, iba yun. As opposed to if you're building a business na may product, di ba? Kasi magkaiba yung i-research mo doon, i-beta test mo pa yung actual product, the manufacturing of it, and then all of that. So, magkakaiba yun. Okay? So, business is malawak. Okay? So, kailangan natin i-narrow down yung context. Okay? So, ang tanong mo is systems ba muna versus getting clients? Okay? There's two ways that you can start. Okay? If your product is so good, okay, you don't really have to make so much effort finding clients for it. Kasi hinahanap na yun ng clients on their own. Okay? So, kailangan bang mag-effort sa client getting activities if your product is already like, no-brainer, so good? Madalas hindi na. Okay? Or kung may effort man, it's less percentage. Now, before I fully dive into that, babalik ako yung thought na yun. Okay? Yung systems naman, let's define it a bit. Okay? So pag sinabing systems, it's basically lahat ng tao actually systems. Okay? Meron ng specific factors, tapos dumadaan sa specific na process, tapos nagpo-produce ng specific na result. Okay? So every person is a system. Meron tayong kanya-kanyang programming. Okay? In the way that we think, feel, decide, and behave. And lahat ng yun, nagkakaroon ng specific results din and outcomes na paulit-ulit. Unless merong magbago dun sa system that we have. Okay? So understanding that every person is a system, ibig sabihin, meron ng existing system. It's just that, yung system ba na yun ay sapat para dun sa goal that you're trying to reach. Because it can either work or it may not work. Okay? This is why, even if, kunyari, dalawang magkaibang tao and magkaiba yung background, and then sinalpak mo sila sa isang program, yung isang person pwedeng mas maging mabilis yung progress niya at mas mabilis siya makakuha ng result. And then yung isang person, kahit pareho lang naman yung lessons na dinadaanan nila, pareho lang yung activities, okay? Hindi niya nakukuha yung same result o mas mabagal lang nakukuha. Kasi, it's not just about the program, may initial system na of that person plus yung supplemental na learnings. Okay? Now, most of us don't have awareness dun sa sarili nating system. Why? Kasi mas madali mapansin yung ibang mga bagay outside of us kaysa yung mga bagay that's already within. Okay? So, kailangang effortan para mas mapansin natin yung mga bagay that's within. Kasi mas sanay tayo na nakatingin tayo from the inside out instead of from the outside in. Okay? So, that being said, ano yung mas dapat mauna? Okay? Systems ba for your business or getting clients? Wala naman talagang choice. Ang laging nauuna is a system. Kasi it's already there. Does that make sense? So parang kahit pilitin mong unahin yung client getting, you're simply just ignoring the system, the currently existing system. Okay? So laging system yung mauuna. There's no choice about it. Okay? But the question is, yung system ba na yan is nag-work for you or not? Okay? Now, kung hindi ka aware sa system mo, mahirap siyang dagdagan ng something that's complementary. Madalas, magta-trial and error tayo sa iba't ibang mga bagay na i-build natin for the business na mas malaki yung chances na hindi mag-work for us. Okay? Pwedeng sa unang try mo, nakuha mo na kagad what works for you. That's luck. Okay? As things fall into place. However, hindi ganun yung experience ng halos lahat. Okay. Meron pa akong pwedeng i-add para sa realization na yan. Wait a second. Key difference maker, the initial system of the person plus supplementary learnings. Yes. Okay. But does that make sense as an initial answer? Ano yung mas dapat mauna, systems o yung client getting within the business? Kapag solopreneur ka, kapag freelancer ka, non-negotiable na unahin yung sistema. Okay? Yung sistema, pag sinabi kong system, as a solopreneur, as a freelancer, it's having an initial understanding of yourself that you will build your business on top of. Okay? You don't have to know yourself 100%, pero just enough. Diba? So that you can kickstart things from a point of advantage. Okay? So pag mas kilala mo yung sarili mo, pwede mong piliin yung mga strategies and tactics, business model, approach to building your clientele, your network, diba? Your marketing, everything. That's within a business dynamic. Mas pasok sa kung sino ka, mas madali. Now, how is it different when you're working now with other people? Okay? If there's other people in the mix, example, magsisimula ka ng negosyo pero may business partners ka na kagad. Diba? Meron ka na kagad katulong within the business to decide. May skills rin sila to contribute. Meron silang different strengths and weaknesses. So dito na papasok yung complementary approach na bumubuo kayo ng combo. Na kung yung isa, mas mahina siya in one area, kailangan merong sasalo ng area na yun. Na yun naman yung strength ng isa. Okay? Usual failure in tech, which is my main industry, is a group of developers developing a super solid software or app. Okay? Pero lahat sila ay software engineers. So na-develop na nila yung pinaka-product, pero walang marunong sa marketing, walang marunong sa cash flow projections and business planning, walang marunong sa pag-network sa ibang mga tao. Therefore, kahit sobrang ganda ng product, they can get the message out there just enough so that it gains traction. Okay? So, if you're playing a bigger game, you would usually require other people na. Okay? And hindi pwedeng pare-pareho kayo. Kasi it's gonna be harder for the business to thrive. Okay? So, there's different layers to this. Actually, I can talk about this like, siguro mga 5-day workshop to. kung totoo natin just lahat ng layers that i-overthink natin with this. Pero I hope the answer makes sense. Okay? Now, Pareto principle. There's a 20% to everything that gets the 80% of results. Okay? So what's the 20% of knowing yourself? Okay? That can help you function up to 80% optimally. Okay? Ano lang ba yung kailangan mong malaman tungkol sa sarili mo initially na kapag nakuha mo na, that's enough para ma-maximize mo ano yung result na pwede mo ma-achieve in the shortest amount of time. Okay? That is actually something, you're familiar with this Melody, right? Because you're part of fourth year. So I actually outlined na the 20% of self-awareness that, like, if people would take seriously, you can actually build on top any project on top of that 20% self-awareness, and it's gonna work out real good. Yeah. However, wala naman akong plans na i-launch ulit yung fourth year, so parang hindi ko alam paano ko i-share yung information moving forward. Anyway, okay. Here, meron pa bang questions? I'm just looking at comments. Kasi hindi talaga napapansin na may system na nakabuilt. Yes. Nagiging impatient sa conversion, pero yung routine, yun yung first generated system. Yup, the habits that we have, or here's the thing, parang we're known both for the things that we do and we don't do. Okay? But it's easier to notice yung mga bagay na ginagawa natin kaysa yung mga bagay na hindi natin ginagawa. Kasi wala namang, kung hindi mo ginagawa, walang ebidensya in the first place, right? So it's easier na mapansin yung habits na meron tayo. And our habits are, yung routines that we have, the habits that we have in life are close to the values that we hold dear as well. Okay? So it's just way easier to identify then yung values that we have and then reconstruct yung routines and habits natin moving forward. Okay. As a solopreneur, having... Okay, Luel, sige. May question ka, bro? Any follow-up? Go ahead.
Hindi, Coach. May question pero hindi siya follow-up doon sa question. So, may follow-up muna, if ever. Or okay lang ba? Sige. So, hello po. And so, regarding rin siguro dun sa inyo, sa mga routine, Coach, ano lang, pop lang sa utak ko. And parang nababalance ba yung pagiging spontaneous mo na tao versus sa pagiging maroutine mo na tao? Or yung ano ba, need ba tanggapin na kailangan may isa talaga doon na umano? Or kasi nga, as I been on doon sa weight loss journey ko, ibang kakaibang routine and discipline yan eh. Tapos parang na-sacrifice yung pagiging spontaneous ko naman doon sa ibang bagay. Tapos nung tinry ko na ulit maging spontaneous, parang ano ba, parang need ko ba mawala doon sa routine? So, ayun, medyo naguluhan lang on that. I hope it makes sense yung tanong na yan.
Bro, okay. A routine is basically a set of habits. Okay? So every habit in itself will have impact, positive man o negative. Okay? And minsan, pareho din. Kasi may trade-offs din with some habits. Okay? So may mga stuff that you would like about the habit kasi beneficial, pero may mga sacrifices din with that habit kasi, syempre, may mga stuff ka rin na parang, iba, magiging trade-off talaga. A routine is a collection of habits. Okay? Meaning, naging lifestyle na siya. Okay? A habit kasi is not necessarily a lifestyle pa agad. Okay? Because it can easily be altered. Pwede siyang mas mabilis ma-break yung pattern. A routine is established collection of habits. Isipin mo, habits are bricks. Tapos a routine is a wall of bricks. Okay? So, mas madaling basagin, di ba? Like, karapihin mo lang yung brick. Di ba? Depende sa kung black belt ka na or whatever. Pero, di ba? Parang mas madaling basagin yung brick kaysa yung brick wall. Okay? So, identity is also altered kapag nag-stack na yung habits, naging routine na siya. Okay? Di ba we have atomic habits? Di ba? Tapos ang ginagawa ni James Clear is, pag build mo yung habit, isipin mo muna kung sino yung nagiging ikaw. Ano yung future self mo na gusto mo i-honor, kaya yun yung habit na i-build mo. Pero it doesn't, the alterations don't happen as concrete kapag isang habit lang talaga. Okay? Kaya eventually the book goes talking about habit stacking. But, kasi yung pag-shift talaga ng identity, mas na-establish kapag nag-iba na yung lifestyle. Okay? Pero kung isa-isang parts lang, madali lang rin i-break yun. So pwedeng mag-fail ka lang like for a week, tapos feeling mo ikaw na ulit yung dating ikaw. Okay? As opposed to kapag sobrang established siya, routine na talaga siya, alam mong different version ka na of yourself. Okay? Now, with your question, okay, ano yung purpose ng routine? Okay? One purpose is to shift identities. Okay? Re-establish who you are as a person. Okay? Pero, once nangyari na yun, nag-click na yun, okay, hindi na lahat ng parts of that routine will be as necessary. Okay? Meron mga parts doon na pwede nang i-discard. In the sense na na-fulfill na nila yung purpose nila. Okay? Kasi umabot ka na sa point na, okay, ito na yung baseline ko, ito na yung normal sa akin. So nakuha ko na, nasulit ko na yung benefits ng routine na yun. So may mga parts doon na pwede nang palitan. give you an example. Okay. Hindi mo na masyado nag-workout pero kinda paborito kong subject ng second year high school in biology. So, in theory, okay, this is how it works. Um, let's say sa pag-gym, okay, like, di ba, may weight progression yung binubuhat mo, di ba? Tapos depende kasi sa purpose mo. Okay? Pwedeng sa simula, ang purpose mo is to lose weight. Okay? So you have a certain routine na workout just for losing weight. Okay? And then you reach the identity of a person na, okay, ibang tao na ako ngayon, I have lost weight. Now I want to start cutting. Okay? So iba na namang version ng identity yung i-hit mo with cutting. Therefore, yung ginagawa mo sa routine from losing weight will not be as efficient, as effective, as needed para dun sa cutting phase. Okay? And then after yung mag-cut, pwedeng, depende. Parang naisip mo, gusto ko na mag-bulk naman. Di ba? Parang depende sa'yo. Di ba? Yung tipong ano, yung leeg mo, parang wala ka ng leeg. sorry. Ano yung utak ko. But you get the idea na parang there are shifts there sa kailangan mong gawin kasi nag-iiba na rin yung useful sa'yo na parts of routine. So now, routines can box you dun sa decision making kasi it will feel like all of them are necessary pa rin. When in actuality, you just need to realize na the decision making is yours, the power to decide is yours, to switch ano yung mga bagay within that routine na mas useful na for what you're aiming for. Okay? So, ang mga crucial na parts is, alam mo dapat what's next for you. Kasi kung hindi malinaw what's next for you, hindi malinaw ano yung kailangan mong i-discard sa routine na nakasanayan mo na. Hindi lilinaw what's more useful versus the hindi na ganun ka-useful. Yeah. Does that answer the question? Like, anong thoughts mo?
Coach. Yeah, kasi ano parang, yun nga, parang, yeah, you need to parang i-check din nga yung, and I love the fact yung sa routine nga, parang nakakahon nga siya, na parang iba yung saya or enjoyment in the first few days, weeks, doing that kind of routine. Then, yun nga, as we progress, parang, okay, I need to, recess ulit, tapos, and yun yung last line yung mga coach na, kailangan alam din yung susunod, kasi parang, parang, yun yung worry na, it's either ituloy ko yung routine muna, o yun yung nagpapa-worry din sa routine na, habang ituloy, kasi hindi ko alam yung yung susunod. So I need to commit to know more muna doon then bago mag-commit ulit to and stick on that kind of routine.
Right.
And
One of the things you can look at is just the Pareto. So parang kung gusto mo mag-cut down ng routine, ano yung 20% of the routine that still makes things work? Or at least puts it on maintenance mode. Kasi even if you stick to just that, so 20%, pati yung time, energy, attention mo, 20% lang rin towards that. You now have the space to do other stuff. As long as what you're doing does not contradict directly yung results nung 20% na Pareto. Okay? So you're free to do anything as long as it doesn't disrupt the progress nung mini-maintain mo o inaalagaan mo, pinoprotektahan mo. Okay? So I can't go, example, nag-lose ako ng weight and then meron akong Pareto of stuff to do to maintain that specific weight. And then on my freedom like mode naman, yung extra space and time that I have, kakain ako ng, kumbaga, let's say, 4 days worth of calories in a day. That would be contradicting, di ba? So, nag-iiba lang yung levels of discipline. Hindi naman talaga siya restriction all the time. Nag-iiba lang yung parameters by which you are moving and making your choices. Yeah. May follow-up questions ba from the group?
thanks, coach.
Salamat din, bro. Like, I really love that question.
Hindi related, coach, pero somewhat, comedy break. Nagawa niyo na ba yun yung 4,000 calories in a day? Like Samgyup for breakfast, lunch, dinner?
Ako actually, before.
Grabe.
Right. And my justification was protein naman lahat yun. Okay? And hindi ako nag-rice. So that's no rice samgyup. Okay? Hindi rin siya ganun kabigat. No carbs eh. That's just all meat. Hindi nga ako nagle-lettuce eh. So parang, it's basic, hindi. May carbs din siya kasi it's basically fish cake plus the meat. Okay? So, yun yung samgyup mode ko. Okay? Ang earliest niyan is mga 10:30 AM. Yan, sa Romantic Baboy. Dito sa amin. Tapos, there's actually a group of freelancers I did like, isipin mo co-working sa Romantic Baboy. Okay? Pero wala kasing time limit yung Romantic Baboy dati. Okay? So basically, we're there from opening up to mga 7 PM. Okay, this was 2019. And yung some of those people are tribe members as well. So parang, hindi ko na-reveal yung names kasi ako okay lang na medyo mapahiya with that image. Pero syempre sila, it's their story to tell. Okay? Pero Romantic Baboy co-working mode. Which is hindi naman talaga co-working mode. It's like 10% work, 90% chika. Okay? We just dubbed it as co-working dahil lang, ewan ko, para mas mainggan yung pumunta yung mga tao. Kahit di naman talaga work yung pinupunta natin. Okay? Ako din ata kahit di ko binilang yung calories, feeling ko may meet ko. Sa San Pedro. Actually, a lot of times I've had food coma. 4 times already in 34 years of experience. Tipong 8 pieces na bucket ng KFC. Tapos yung 4 na rice nun. Tapos may mashed potato 4. Pero that was my earlier years. Okay, ngayon hindi ko na kaya the same. Siguro. I haven't really tried. But it's too much. Yeah. But before, di ba? Parang minimum mo 8 kanin sa mga inasal. Like, I guess it's the power of being in your 20s. Okay? Ngayon, nasa 30s na ako, haven't attempted that lately. Pero feeling ko hindi na rin ganun kalakas yung appetite. Nag-iiba din talaga. Okay. Yeah, 2019, I was 29. Okay. Great. Sige. So, any questions from the group? Any curiosities? Anong gusto nyo pag-usapan? Go, Ange.
Ako curious ako to ask everyone, saan ka magaling?
Cool
Anong
question.
bagay ang confident ka sa sarili mo na kahit nakapikit ka, kaya mong i-deliver?
Right.
Isang
Sorry,
bagay lang.
natawa ko nung tayo nakapikat kasi naisip ko agad matulog. I get it.
Kumbaga,
I get it.
kung ihaharap ka sa maraming tao, pag in-introduce mo yung sarili mo, saan ka magaling? Ganon.
Right. So, si AT, research. Okay, kay Lowell is kumain. Okay. But actually food, I mean, ako, like, from experience, there's people na alam mo yan, pag kumain sila, nalalasahan nila lahat. And they can actually describe the ingredients, di ba, of the food. And kaya nilang i-reverse engineer yung kinakain nila. I have a coach friend who's like that. Parang kahit saan kami kumakain, kaya niyang ulitin yung food kapag sa bahay na ginagawa. Eh, oo nga, galing eh. Yung kanya-kanya
Hindi ako
talaga.
sa ganun, coach. May friend din akong ganun and kakilala na kasi ako on my point, para lahat masarap. Hindi ko kayang gawin yung ginagawa niya. Yung parang i-break down niya, medyo overcook, medyo ano. Sabi ko, overcook pa yun? Sa lagay na yun? Parang may ganung...
Yeah, so parang, yeah, ano yun. Hindi siya chef. He's actually trainer for mental health trainer for, I mean, he's a fellow coach. Ayan. Paano magpababa ng self-esteem? Hindi ko agad na-gets na ano yun. Okay. Pero I mean, let's play around with that. Is there an advantage, sa tingin niya, is there an advantage kapag low ang self-esteem?
Oo. Kasi parang nagiging yung mind mo sobrang playful niya to the point na wala kang magawa kasi nag-overthink ka. Well, in reality, hindi naman talaga yun yung dapat niyang sasabihin sa'yo eh. Pero dahil based on experience and based on yung computations, calculations mo, pinoprotect mo yung sarili mo para sa invisible blow. Na sana, kunyari, kung baga, sana sana nag-excel ka, pero hindi ka maka-excel kasi tinitrip mo yung sarili mo ng negativity. Wherein, wala naman talaga. Gawa-gawa mo lang siya. Pero kung mag-step out ka lang at gawin mo lang kung saan ka masaya, ganun, okay lang naman talaga eh.
Right. Sorry.
Yun yung side ko ah.
Yeah. I mean, you've described the experience. Can you clarify ano yung advantage? Hindi ko masyadong the advantage of
Ay,
low
sorry.
esteem.
Nasa disadvantage pala ako. Wala akong masabing advantage. Pagbababa
Okay.
yung
Gotcha.
self-esteem mo. Oo.
Thank you. Like, good share. For others, meron nga ba? Baka lang, let's play around mental exercise. Kung mababa ang self-esteem ko, o kung naranasan mo na before na merong seasons in your life na andun ka sa lowest self-esteem mode, meron bang naging advantage? Meron bang naging good that came out of that? Serious na sagot ko po kung saan magaling yan. Spontaneous makisama, solid. People won't hate you for being a bragger. Yeah, may immunity. May immunity sa being seen as mayabang. Right? Diba? You can actually attract certain allies din, di ba? Like usually when you have a low self-esteem, so you look down on yourself, there's like a self-pity mode. Okay. We're not saying it's a good thing to have all the time. Okay. Pero like there's also people who would support you. Makikita mo kung sino yung mga tao na parang hey, gusto ko tang supportan, I see potential in you. Kahit di mo makita yourself Kasi nga low self-esteem eh. So parang the blind sides are there and there's barriers to seeing your worth, di ba? Pero lilitaw din yung mga tao that see your potential, that would help you, that will give you a chance, that would support you, encourage you, and be there for you, and kailangan mo ng kausap, and all of these things. Because I've had years where I have low self-esteem. And hindi lang siya parang overarching thing. It can be per area din. Okay? So parang, low self-esteem ako kapag sumasayaw. Okay? So kapag nag-atake ka sa salamin-salamin o pantropiko, kumbaga lalabas yung pagka-ano, low self-esteem person. Pero if it's other areas naman, like, feeling ko when I'm gaming, when I'm doing business consulting, yun naman, parang high self-esteem, confident, moments from Beanie Harry. Salamat sa suporta, bro. Okay, advantage. You become pretty fearless kasi feeling mo kaya mo. Wait. Parang it's the other way around. So low self-esteem is parang wala kang believe sa sarili mo masyado. Yeah. So you're usually blinded to the value you could bring into the table. You're usually looking at areas of weakness or areas of incapability. Okay, so mas doon na pupunta yung focus. Okay. Advantage, okay. Magandang counterbalance sa excessive self-esteem to help them stay grounded. Solid. Parang it's like a humility. Parang it's related to humility, di ba? Na parang ano yung terminology na parang your feet stays on the ground o parang I mean I can't really recall what's that. Pero parang yun nga yung paa mo nasa lupa. Okay? So your head could be in the clouds where your feet stay on the ground. Yeah. It's like amplifier of humility. And by the way, humility is the third trait sa top 10 traits ng millionaires. These are US-based millionaires. A study has been done there. It's found in the book The Millionaire Next Door. Okay? So humility yung third quality na common ground nila. Hey, sorry, na-caught off guard ako sa pantropika again. Pag mababa self-esteem, hindi ka mapapa-join sa mga daring but foolish acts. Actually, no? Parang hindi ka mabubuyo basta-basta kung you're surrounded by a crowd na sobrang risk taker or something. Meaning may trouble na masasave ka if yung daring act would end up in something bad. Yes. Yung mga tipong skydiving, di ba? Okay. Mga na super thrill type, Though accidents seldom happen and stuff like that, pero at least safe mode ka na talaga from like extreme stuff. Ayan, mata sa langit, paa sa lupa. Thank you for that, bro. Yeah, low self-esteem. So your final thought on that, no? Low self-esteem, it is actually a form of pride. Okay? So kanina nabanggit natin na parang hindi ka safe ka dun sa mga tao na iisiping mayabang ka. Okay? And usually, yung pagiging mayabang is associated to pride, di ba? Na egoistic, like may pagka-narcissistic or like self-centered yung isang person. But it's really just a matter of focus. A person with low self-esteem and a person that's, kumbaga, nasobrahan naman sa self-esteem are basically both self-centered. It's just that, magkaibang parts of who they are yung hina-highlight. So, with a person na super high self-esteem, nakafocus siya sa sarili niya, pero nakikita niya is all the good stuff. All the things na pwede niyang magawa, pwede niyang, like the possibilities, the potential, even the track record that's good. Okay? However, on the flip side, a person na low self-esteem is still focusing on self. Okay? Ano pa rin self-image, ano yung tingin niya sa sarili niya, pero mas tungkol dun sa mga bagay na hindi niya kayang gawin, o kaya feeling niya hindi siya enough, incapable siya to do, o whatever other areas na pasok dun sa categories niya. So both high self-esteem and low self-esteem can translate into pride or an ego thing. Okay? And of course, both will have pros and cons. Okay? So yun lang siguro final thought on that. Pero ang pag-categorize ng action ay based din naman sa interpretation. Oh yes. This is why example for people na nakagawa ng big achievement. Okay? Not everyone can actually teach other people how to arrive at the same point. Even if yung na-achieve nila is something really cool from the eyes of people. Kasi madalas di natin napapansin saan hinugot yung kailangan natin for us to move and do what needs to be done. Sometimes it can be out of anger kaya tayo napadecide and napagalaw. Does that mean na parang kung naiintindihan natin yun, ituturo rin ba natin sa ibang tao na okay lang yan, hanapin mo lahat ng kinagagalitan mo, mapapagalaw ka towards your success? We usually don't. And even if we understand it that way, we won't. Okay? Because it would sound weird. It would sound like really different. It would sound negative. Diba? Pero maraming times, even a person that's successful, magkahalong iba-ibang hugot yung pinanggagalingan ng action niya. Naiintindihan niya man o hindi. Yeah, it's super wild. Like, if we can only watch ourselves outside of ourselves while we're executing, di ba, there are days na parang sasagot ka ng emails kasi galit ka. Parang dami-dami ng emails na 'to, sige nga sagutin ko na 'to lahat para matapos na, 'di ba? Pero meron din mga times na you would just draw on your iPad and you feel like life is beautiful, sobrang daming possibilities, and then gusto ko draw yung mga flowers, yung mga birds, yung mga bees, 'di ba? Like, we're weird. We're not even consistent even at our most consistent. That's why human beings are ano, are amazing. Sobrang daming layers na puwede pang himay-himayin at any point in time. Yeah, it's just that if we base it on interpretation, laging nafi-filter na natin based on what's foremost in our minds or our programming, kung paano natin ina-explain yung ginagawa natin. Pero pag sa actual process, messy talaga yun sa halos lahat ng pagkakataon. Bihira siya na nagiging planchado all throughout. Especially if we're trying to achieve something we never achieved before, or we're kumbaga sinalpak tayo sa isang environment na very new or unfamiliar sa atin. So there's always room for the mess. The mess doesn't mean we can create something beautiful. Actually, mas napapaganda pa nga ng living life through chaos, and then parang you live life through chaos and then still get to build something beautiful or unexpectedly beautiful. Feeling ko mas maganda yung ganong narrative na may mess pero we can still make something out of it. Because ako, I believe every person has mess to sort out. Napapansin man natin o hindi. So, yup, chaos is creativity. Like, that's a gateway for creativity. Kapag masyadong structured rin lahat ng bagay, yeah. So routine bro versus yeah, may space pa rin dapat for chaos and freedom. Anyway, do you have follow-up questions on this or anything lang na gusto niyo like itanong within this space? We have an hour and 4 minutes.
Dagdag ko lang coach pala dun sa ano, parang naalala ko nung last time na nag-usap din tayo, parang connected dun sa routine. Pero yung sa ano naman last time is sa pagiging self-aware, parang it's good na maging self-aware pero nakakapagod maging self-aware and every time din. Parang ganun. So same as sa routine nga na I mean, it's good to have your own routine on that thing, but yeah, kailangan may space pa rin to be
Right.
messy. Yeah.
It's great that you mentioned that, bro. That's isa yung sa mga hugot ko. Why I actually designed yung 20% lang of self-awareness. Okay? And that's basically what most people need. Okay? Why I designed it that way na parang 20% lang of who you are is enough to live life like 80% optimally. Okay? Kasi nga nakakapagod maging self-aware. Okay? It drains a lot of energy to look within. It's just a simple like kung kanan yung dominant hand mo o kaliwa yung dominant hand. Okay, so ako, nakainis to kasi yung kaliwete yung tawag, di ba? Pero hindi ko alam anong tawag sa kanan. May tawag ba sa kanan? Hindi naman kananete, di ba? Anyway, but kanan or kaliwa, you have your dominant hand. Okay? If you're ambidextrous, like, sige, saludo ko sa'yo. Okay? But the idea is you have your dominant hand. So ang sanay tayo is to look from inside out. Meaning ang mas awareness natin is nasa external, what's happening around us. That's always our dominant hand. Therefore, it takes a different kind of effort and mas malaking energy and focus para gamitin yung non-dominant hand, which is basically looking within. Okay? So kung lagi tayo nag-introspect and laging looking within, it has its benefits. It will have its like pros, di ba? Like makakadagdag yun sa different ways that we can live life. But if that's always, kumbaga, our default, as important as that is, it also leads us to a lot of burnout. Okay? Hindi ba kayo nagtataka na kung kailan lumaganap yung self-development space, both in the business realm and like in the social media world, mas maraming tao yung pagod. Mas maraming tao yung nagreklamo about exhaustion, about being burnt out, about being stressed. Okay. I see it as a side effect, okay, of looking within pero not having proper cycles. Pag puro within, and then hindi siya nagkakaroon ng cycle na dapat within and kumbaga inward to outward, tas outward. Like that needs to be a cycle. Mauubos talaga yung isang person. Because our energy is limited, our focus is limited. We're not meant to be introspective lang all the time. Anyway, so ayan. Dominant hand natin is to look outside of us. Non-dominant yung pag-look within. Can you expand on the cycles thing, Kage? Sure. So it's basically intangible versus tangible. When you look within, ang nakikita mo is usually the intangibles. Okay? Masasabi mong merong proper cycle if what you saw from within is used to create something tangible. Okay? Kung ano yung na-discover mo sa'yo within, you now need to apply it to something that you can build outside of yourself. Okay? So merong utility yung na-discover mo about you. That's a proper cycle. Wherein you would look within, you would create something out of it. So that's looking outside. And then you would look within again. So cycle ulit, create something out of it. Yeah. That's yun yung biggest, kumbaga, factor dun sa cycle. Na parang what are you creating with what you are discovering? Yeah. So intangible to tangible. Tapos, pabalik sa intangible and stuff. And life talaga is going with the flow. Yes. Mahirap mag-unlearn ng nakasanayan. We usually parang subconsciously we run towards what is useful. Actually, pangalawa yun. What helps us survive is the first one. Okay? So what feels safe, what feels familiar. Okay? And then, second layer is we run towards what is useful. Okay? Minsan kahit it can be life-threatening, pero it's useful enough, we would still go for it. The difference lang is, merong mga bagay na useful and then it would still register to our subconscious mind as a threat. Because walang bridge, walang malinaw na bridge to actually get to that useful thing. Okay, so an example would be, nasa corporate ka, so you're an employee, okay? And then that's the safe route. That's the familiar route. Okay, so your subconscious would say, anything outside of that is risky. Anything outside of being an employee, dahil yung nakasanayan mo, like steady income, like malinaw na parameters of work, that's the safest mode to be in. And then you see na merong other people building a business. Okay? And then you start to think, okay, how useful can a business be for me? Tapos tinignan mo yung advantages na, pag may negosyo ka pala, so mas tuloy-tuloy yung kita mo. And then you can have control over your earnings. Diba? So you can set it up in such a way that it would feed you and your family and stuff like that. And mas malaki yung potential niya kaysa sa staying in employment. Okay? So this is just one example, but it's a very common, relatable example. So now, you see na may usefulness in building a business. Okay? So now there's options. Will you stay, ba? Or let go of your current job, tapos build a business? Pwede na naman na itry mo is, can I build a business while still in this job? Okay? Different ways pa rin to achieve that. But, kahit useful yung isang bagay, if walang malinaw na path or the bridge, the approach for you to get that, it will still be considered as a threat. Okay? Kapag mas malinaw yung bridge o yung path o yung approach that can lead you to building something, then it would start to register as safer. Okay? Is this making sense as a concept? Okay? Ayan. So, there's technically may risk pa din. Okay? Pero mag-register siya as safe. As pwede na. Okay? And then we start to make our choices and pwedeng mag-move forward. Pero is it really foolproof? We never really know. Because sobrang daming factors na hindi pa natin nakikita. And sobrang daming unexpected things and mga stuff outside of our control that can still come our way. How do we avoid overthinking while thinking of the safer path? Very different to when you're doing it alone versus when you're doing it with other people. Okay? Imagine this. In ancient times, so people live in tribes. Okay? Sorry about that. Nawala ulit po. Imagine this, no? So in ancient times, people were actually living in groups, no, in tribes. Okay? And at that time, resources are scarce. So para mabuhay yung isang buong tribe, diba? There's hunters, there's gatherers, there's people na kailangang kumuha ng resources for the whole to survive. And each one plays a different role within that tribe para maalagaan yung iba't ibang needs ng kabuuan. Okay? That's how we, for the most part, no, we've evolved as human beings living in tribes. Okay? As of now, parang ilang 100 years pa lang naman tayo in modern society. Okay? That's like from 1800s, Industrial Revolution. So let's just say mga 200 years. Right? Pero we've lived thousands of years in groups, in tribes, taking care of each other with specific roles and functions na for the society instead of just for the individual. Okay? Now, yung difference is, in our modern day and age, we are encouraged to honor the individual above all else. Ang focus is to live life to the fullest, maximize your potential, i-discover mo ano yung sarili mong purpose, sarili mong vision, build something of your own, create your own path. So that's the narrative na ngayon, like in this modern day and age. Not at all bad, pero everything has pros and cons. The tendency is, okay, if it's your journey that you're trying to live out, it's your responsibility. Okay? Nothing wrong with that statement, just facts. Okay? But whenever responsibility is amplified, okay, andun na mas nagkakaroon ng certain levels of challenge. Okay? Because even if something is your responsibility, it doesn't mean it's only yours to bear. Okay? So if we look at paano naka-structure pa rin yung society, ano pa rin yung mga important parts of it? Basically, the basic unit pa rin ng society is what we call the family. Okay? There's the union between husband and wife, and then there's their children, and an ecosystem pa of sorts depending on the culture your family is built in. Okay? So our lives are meant to be shared, and even the responsibility of living life to the fullest, kahit it's your own responsibility, imposibleng hindi yun maging kadikit ng buhay ng ibang mga tao. So ano yung sagot ko sa how do we avoid overthinking? Ang haba ng intro eh. No? Ano yung sagot ko sa how do we avoid overthinking while thinking of the safer path? So if you have a support system, okay, that you can freely kumbaga, be yourself with at any point in time, and you receive from them kung ano yung kailangan mo so that you can move forward with whatever it is that you're trying to do. Okay? Overthinking is not bad at all if surrounded ka by the proper support system. Okay? So kailangan bang itigil yung overthinking? My personal belief is no. But it needs to be converted into a superpower that only happens if you have a proper support system. And that includes people. Okay? Overthinking only becomes a weakness if it's done in solo mode. Okay? On the flip side, let's say ganito. As a consultant, I'm a natural overthinker. Okay? I'm actually diagnosed with ADHD. Okay? Malamang mapapansin nyo yun with the way that my thought process is kumbaga habang na-explain ko yung mga bagay. Okay? So it's kind of a struggle from time to time. But the idea is, in certain contexts, example for consulting with my clients, overthinking is a superpower. I can show them things they haven't thought about. Kasi yung iniisip nila is like 6 months ahead. Ang naisip ko is 2 years ahead. So in that context, overthinking is what I'm paid for. Every tendency that we have becomes a superpower with a proper support system. With a proper context of where we can actually express kung ano yung natural sa atin. So yeah, hindi ko alam what we're gonna do with that. pero ano, meron ba kayong follow-up questions or any share of the sort? Kung ano, di ba? Quotable ko. Overthinking is what I'm paid for. Ako, I honestly believe that. Overthinking is what I'm paid for. Sinasabi ko sa some of my clients na parang 2 overthinkers are better than 1. It's just a matter of embracing it and then seeing the advantage. Every tendency we have can be a superpower if we have the right context and support system. Yep, tama yung notes. Yung notes mo lang pala, alam ko. May question. Pero yeah. Meron bang follow-up question to this? How do we avoid overthinking while thinking of the safer path? You may not want to avoid it. Here's the challenge. Parang, what if you work on, okay? And this is not just for overthinking. Kunyari kayo, may nakikita kayo na tendency na you feel like it's negative in your life, but you just can't help it. It feels so natural. It feels like a pattern. Feels like programming. No? So before you try to change it, okay, why not build a solid support system around yourself first? And then matitest mo. Ito bang bagay na meron ako na natural sa akin na parang hindi ko mapigilan and parang usually negative, will it have advantages? Given na meron akong proper support system. Kasi if ma-prove mo na with the proper support system, with the proper group of people around you, na yung kinoconsider mo as weaknesses are not really weaknesses, but they have advantages, nasa yun yung choice kung gusto mo pa rin palitan moving forward o hindi. Yeah. Paano yung walang support system? It needs to be built. Walang healthy family or friends, you can still build it. Imagine this. In our lifetimes, we're only gonna meet a limited amount of people. Okay? And I believe kung sino yung mga tao na nami-meet natin in this lifetime, it's not by accident, it is by design. Diba? Yung mga humuhugot minsan sa memes na parang yung ibang mga tao, they would be there for you to support you, and yung iba magiging mata-turn into lessons. Nasasaktan ka nila pero mag-turn into lessons. It's kind of cheesy, pero it's kind of true as well. Parang every person you meet has a purpose sa buhay mo, and yung purpose is mutual. Ikaw din may purpose sa buhay nila. It's just a matter of which relationships yung gusto mong sulitin as of now. And you don't have to be parang, you don't have to make a choice na parang, okay, lahat ng kilala ko ngayon ililista ko tapos susulitin ko na kagad lahat. There's things falling into place, there's timing, there's energy, there's time itself if you have enough of it. Pero intentionally in every season of your life, sino yung mga relationships na nurture mo as part of your inner circle? As part of the people you would allow na maging vulnerable ka, maging honest ka, you ask for help as needed. Like, minsan mag-iinarte ka sa harapan nila and then they would not judge you for it. They would just embrace you for who you are. Who are those people? If you have at least one, tapos yun yung nurture mo right now, you're on the way to building a proper support system, regardless of lahat ng lack of support system in your life before. Yeah, choose one. You start with one. Pero meron ka na eh. Meron ka na at least one, di ba? Like, di ba? Nakakilig nga yung at least one na yan eh. Lahat nung kawalan ng support system natin, because with family, I know what it's like. I came from a broken home. My parents are both entrepreneurs. Basically, their life revolved around chasing money. So napabayaan nila. Ako ay unwanted child. So hindi ako planado. I'm basically, my mom dubbed me as the child that ruined her dreams. Kasi nung pinanganak ako, ang dami niya nang kailangan i-sacrifice ng mga gusto niya sa buhay na hindi niya na magawa. Because I was there. And she can't get rid of me. When I was 7 years old, iniwan niya ako sa MRT2 trying to get rid of me. Pero dahil magaling ako magtanong, nakauwi pa rin ako sa Fairview. Diba? I mean, and I didn't know my mom left me. I just thought nakalimutan niya lang talaga ako. I only understood it when I was in high school and napag-usapan na namin yan. She intentionally left me because she was not ready for motherhood. We all have different stories, iba't ibang hugot, iba't ibang kakulangan ng mga tao sa buhay natin. Lalo na yung supposedly dapat silang inaasahan natin to take care of us and teach us how to not only survive but thrive in this world that we are living in. Dapat hinanda nila tayo para sa lahat ng mga stuff na haharapin natin. Sadly, walang parenting rulebook. Walang perfect parent. Walang perfect family. And it's part of honoring our desire to grow, to take responsibility unti-unti, to, okay, lahat ng wala sa buhay ko as I was growing up, that's outside of my control. Nung iniwan ako ng nanay ko sa MRT2 when I was a kid, that's outside of my control. It was her choice. Hindi yun yung tipong parang, sige, tago-taguan muna tayo, tapos tago ka lang dyan. Tapos, it was not part of my choice. But here's the kicker. I'm not 7 years old now. I'm not the same kid. I'm not the same person. I have evolved to such a state that I can make choices for myself. I'm not at the mercy of my parents' choices. And our new identity just needs to be voiced out. Kung ano man nangyari sa inner child natin, ano mang nangyari in the past, you're not the same person right now. You're a better person. You're always doing your best to navigate life. And that's a hopeful thing. Ibig sabihin, there's possibilities you are meant to live out pa. And you're merely scratching the surface of kung paano pa pwedeng mag-unfold yung buhay mo. And the mere fact that we have this space, even if it's just every Friday or from time to time and stuff, maybe there's some sort of support here that you can get as well. So, marami pang ways to build your support system. It's not too late. That tayo, let's start with one more intentional relationship to be part of our inner circle. And let's see how things would go from there moving forward. Any follow-up questions to this? By the way, this is the first time I shared that in public. Na iniwan ako ng nanay ko sa MRT station when I was a kid. Kage, how do we find the right context for our tendencies to become superpowers? Right. There's different ways to actually do that. Because yung mga bagay that we deem negative. So, kunyari, overthinking. And then nakita natin na negative yon for us. Why do you think we still continue to do it? Right? If we see it as negative, bakit kaya patuloy pa rin natin siyang ginagawa? Right? Anything that persists in your life will always be associated to some sort of pleasure. Okay? Even if it's negative, Okay? Bakit ako umiinom dati uncontrollably? Starting from grade 4. Okay? Umiinom na ako from grade 4. Okay? Bakit ako umiinom dati? Bakit ako nag-iossi dati? Even though alam ko at the back of my head, it's bad for me. Because there's still a certain sense of pleasure there. Okay? Yeah, grade 4. Because I have like sobrang konsentidor na mga tito. They were the ones na, tikim ka muna dito. It's parang walang kwentang mga tito. Pero, yeah, that's the story. So, there's a certain pleasure to everything that we continually do, kahit negative pa yun from our perspective. Okay? So if you ask yourself, ano yung tendency na yun na, for me, na, okay, gusto kong hanapan ng proper context. Okay? Ask yourself, what do I find pleasurable about this? Bakit ko ito paulit-ulit na ginagawa? Ano yung part of this na na-enjoy ko? Okay? Example, for overthinking, I feel like I have a certain sense of control when I overthink. Alam mo, feeling mo parang ikaw si Professor X tapos, diba, parang inaanam na mo lahat ng mga pwedeng possibilities and stuff. Tapos feeling mo yung antali-talino mo afterwards. Pero kumbaga, may deadline ka tapos na-miss mo na kasi 3 days ka na nag-over. But there's that. Okay? Ano yung pleasurable part with that negative tendency? Okay? Because the path of pleasure can lead you to what's an alternative expression na. Okay? So, nag-overthink na lang naman ako, ba't di na lang ako mag-consultant? Does that make sense? So now, I enjoy the overthinking part of consulting. Ang hindi ko na-enjoy is the math. Okay? But it's part of the job. You have to deal with it. So I can say like it's a 70-30 thing. Na parang 70% of consulting is I enjoy because I'm just being me. I feel like I was born to be a consultant. Kasi sobrang natural na yung pag-iisip ko is like a systems thinker consultant person. Just because of my tendencies to overthink. Okay? And ADHD helps too. But does that make sense as an answer? The path of pleasure. Okay. Any follow-up questions to that? There's another way, which is a trial and error lang. Because eventually, papansin mo rin saan mas useful pala yung ginagawa mo. If you work with enough people, you'll get enough feedback. And when there's enough feedback, there's enough data to just look at, okay, ito pala yung pattern. And this is where this is most useful. And this is where I find this most enjoyable. That's the long cut part. For people who have enough self-awareness, they can reverse engineer it from a point of pleasure. So if you know yourself enough na, you can figure that out.
Kaya baka may iba pa kayong example dun sa pleasure. Paano siya na?
Sige. So, I'm trying to think of a few. There's a person I am mentoring, and basically this person is she's great at what she does, okay? Pero what she does is too technical. As in super technical. What she does is nasa quality assurance ng softwares. Okay? So basically, lahat ng functionalities, how it connects, how it can be optimal for a user perspective, lahat yun yung stuff na ginagawa. Okay? But at the same time, she actually finds it hard to speak, to communicate. So you can see like a super dedicated person na sobrang galing dun sa craft niya, pero hindi niya ma-communicate yung galing niya. Hindi nga siya makapag-suggest in teams. Alam mo yun, parang may nakita siyang mali. Kasi nga siya yung taga-sort out ng mga stuff. Pero hindi naman laging masabi na, ito kailangan nating ayusin to. Kahit nasa notes niya na kailangan ayusin niya. So parang, in that context, okay, so nahihirapan siya maghanap ng clients since she doesn't know how to speak to people. Okay? And for the longest time, she felt like it was a confidence issue. Okay? She's not convinced na may value yung ginagawa niya and stuff like that. Until we found a way for her to communicate na hindi na smooth lang sa kanya yung level of communication. It turns out when we tested a few things, the person is also a great writer. So sa meetings, instead na kailangan niya magsalita, even before the meetings, she now prepares a document. And in that document is outlined ano yung insights and stuff na kailangan niya i-communicate, the core stuff na kailangan niya i-communicate even before the meeting. The person can communicate really well in writing, but just not verbally. Now, when she implemented that, what happened? Basically, inofferan na siya ng 2-year retainer contract within that same company. Okay? anong nangyari sa lead gen niya just by writing. So we focus on creating content, and then meron lang siyang scripts. Lahat ng discovery calls niya ay hindi discovery calls, it's discovery chats. Okay? So basically, we just altered things towards kung ano yung mas natural para sa kanya. But we needed to discover it first. Paano ko na-discover? Kasi so sa mentees that I have, there's a journey tab na basically it's a collection of their wins and setbacks. So they just have to write there ano yung mga wins nila, ano yung setbacks nila. It's like a diary of sorts. So when I review yung journey tab na yun for every mentee, specifically for this person, I found her writing fascinating. And then I just thought, okay, may iba pa ba tayong pwedeng gawin? So I gave her templates related to copywriting, related to writing content for social media, and she did it with flying colors. Okay? Na tipong, tinatanong siya gano'ng katagal yung time na i-spend mo to use this one template to write things down. It's like 10 to 15 minutes. So this person is a natural here. It's just that wala naman siya ibang napaggagamitan nun. Of course, sometimes it needs guidance para makita natin ano rin ba yung mga options for the context of where we can excel with something that we're natural at. It felt like a weakness na parang hindi ako makakommunicate verbally. But ang feeling doon is parang, alam mo yun, parang binitin yung dila mo pero ginalingan yung pagsasabat mo. Parang basta may isang kulang pero may isang sobra. And it didn't feel that way kasi nakafocus siya dun sa kulang. Her lack of verbally communicating things has helped her internally process her thoughts na parang sobrang nahihinog na within her pero ang medium niya lang talaga is writing. Yeah. Any follow-up questions to this? It's like you're describing this. Yeah. Yeah. Di ba? The correlations. Meron pa ba? Gosh, Claire, it's like I'm describing you too. Like your writing prowess, di ba? But that's a strength na yun, di ba, in itself. Context. It may need trial and error. So it can be the path of pleasure. It may need trial and error. It can also need some sort of guidance. Yeah. I actually have this, is it a program? No, it's not a program. It's a set of 3 calls. Okay. It's what I call the unique potential. Okay. Where we deep dive into, personal history. And then we're going to look at basically patterns. Okay. And then we're going to identify a combination of things that you would like to live out. Na parang, if ipapakilala mo yung sarili mo sa ibang mga tao na parang, ito ako. Okay. And may trial and error pa rin doon in the way that you communicate it. Pero it's like embracing parts of who you are na sometimes it can be a weakness coupled with 2 strengths, diba? Or 3 strengths or different stuff. It can be na ako, I came from a broken family. It's one of my stories that I get to share with people. But coming from a broken home has actually enhanced who I am as a person. Now that I see it. Of course, dati puro katramahan lang yun, diba? Stuff. But that's what healing does. Okay. So the unique potential is like a way to market yourself. It can also be a way to simplify content that you're putting out in the world. It's a way to simplify how you introduce yourself to different circles of people. But at the same time, it's a way to heal. To accept certain parts of your journey na pwede mo palang magamit ngayon. And baka hindi mo lang napapansin before kasi the energy around it is unhealed yet. Yeah. That's something I do for people from time to time. I haven't really launched it super widespread. Pero like it's 3 calls. Every call is 1 hour and 15 minutes. Para siyang personal workshop. Ganun yung dating ng unique potential ko. Yeah. Any other thoughts from the group? Questions, curiosities, stuff to sort. Lalo na sa hindi pa nagtatanong. We still have 28 minutes. Okay. Kage, anong pinag-aiba ng your unique potential calls sa zone of genius? The zone of genius is usually just one thing. So if you want to be the best, zone of genius yung i-focus mo. In a sense na parang if you're in competition with other people, you have to be the best at your zone of genius. Okay? Top 1, number 1. Okay? It's like kung paanong sinasabi ng lahat ng radio stations na sila yung number 1. Which is weird, di ba? Parang kahit sa stasyon ka ng radyo makinig, number one silang lahat. So nakakapikon din pag pinag-isipan mo talaga ng maayos, di ba? Pero syempre, ang pinapakinggan mo lang naman talaga yung trip mong radio station eh. So pag sinabi lang number one sila, ano na yun, nag-resonate na yun sa'yo kasi nasa fan base ka na nila. Hindi mo na yung kino-question. Pero if you really look at it from a broader perspective, paano nangyari na lahat sila number one? It's just that they're number one in different categories. Okay? Pero pag minamarket nila yung sarili nila, ano ba yung mas may appeal? Number one ako sa blank versus kami ang number one. It's like it's a clever way of using their status. It's not the full truth naman all the time. But yeah, that's the competition game eh, like being the best. Na kapag ikaw yung top, yeah, that's a zone of genius thing. You have to be the best at that. But that's also a very, in the business world, if you're branding yourself as the top one, that's a very magastos business plan. Because you can't be number two from there. You'll do whatever it takes so that lahat ng exposure na meron ka would give the resemblance na ikaw pa rin yung top. Magastos yun, as in. From a business context, from a personal brand context, it's a lot. My effort, magastos and all. So, the unique potential is basically finding your unique combination. You don't have to be the best at one thing. You just have to be different. Yeah. So if you can differentiate yourself enough, then there's people who will also uniquely resonate with you. You will attract the people na nag-resonate sa'yo, and you would naturally repel the people na hindi naman talaga pasok dun sa expressions of who you are. Yeah. So that's a more efficient way of basically, like positioning yourself. Yeah. The zone of genius, meron din siyang layers, no? There's also what we call the zone of competence. Okay? So sa zone of competence, you just have to be able to do it. You don't have to necessarily be the best. Okay? So parang yung post ko kagabi, mag-Angel's Burger kami dapat ni Wifey. Tapos nauwi kami sa Minute Burger, which is like a few steps away lang talaga. Parang halos magkatabi lang yung Minute Burger tsaka Angel's Burger dito sa village namin. So preferably Angel's Burger, kaso ang haba ng pila eh. Ang craving, ang midnight craving, di ba? Parang magwawala na yung asawa ko kapag kumbaga naging 12:30 na ganyan, magwawala na yun. So, time is of the essence. So, Minute Burger na lang, di ba? For the sake of peace of the home. Pero, hindi kailangan mag-market ni Minute Burger sa amin. Alam lang namin na may other option. So, burger na hindi kasing sarap ng Angel's Burger, pero pwede na. That's more like the zone of competence. You don't have to be the best, but you're just there. And from time to time, you'll be able to grab the opportunities na pasok pa rin sa competence mo. Okay? Sa amin, sa Circle of Consultants, ganun din. Dalawa yan. Either hindi namin kaya yung isang project so ipapasa namin sa iba, o ayaw namin ng kliyente kaya ipapasa namin sa iba. But yeah, competence is at play. Okay. Any other thoughts on this? Or further thoughts from the group? Meron pa ba? I guess we're good for now. We still have 23 minutes. I would like to know, out of all na napag-uusapan natin tonight, what's something na a decision or an action na pwede mong i-take home? What's a decision or an action na pwede mong i-take home from this call? Because that's where we attempt transforming our systems. Attend ulit ako ng next call. Cool. Reframing tendencies as possible superpowers. Nice. From Liz, ako din. Anong ako din? Attend rin ng next call. Cool. Lowell, go ahead.
Ayun, Coach. Since yun nga, kakabalik ko lang din po, makikonnect. Siguro sa akin, pinakatumatagal is yung parang, may new identity or our new identity needs to be voiced out. And I need to do that for myself din kasi, yun nga, as a overthinker din naman, kapwa overthinker, but yeah, parang ang hirap i-keep siya. And ang mababalikan ko is yung parang version 1 ko or other version ko on that. And parang ako na lang din yung magugulat minsan na, ay, hindi na nga pala ako to, parang ano na pala to, parang ako na rin mismong huhuli sa sarili ko na, uy, di ba ano ka na? Okay na. So parang yeah, I need to be more vocal on it and keep practicing or ano siya, ulit-ulitin kasi nga makakalimutin din ako. So parang I need to be maging normal siya sa akin on that thing. So yeah, that's good thoughts, sir.
Thank you for sharing that, bro. Balik ako yung self-awareness, no? So nakakapagod maging self-aware 24/7. Okay? This is why we need systems. Okay? systems remind us of what we already know about ourselves. Okay? So a simple way is, ano ba yung mga, you start with, kunyari sa identity, ano yung mga pwede magpaalala sa'yo ng current identity mo na? Okay? So, hindi to always a role model thing to do. Kasi actually, ako, I'm easily distracted. Okay? So, dapat yung environment ko, yung workspace ko, is mas walang distraction. Okay? Pero kung mapapansin nyo, okay, there's a Sanji figure, di ba? May Zoro, may Luffy, may si Naruto sa likod, dyan sila Goku sa baba. Pag nakikita ko yan, imbes na magtrabaho ako, naisip ko manood ng anime. Di ba? Pero nasa home office yan. Which is very, very, parang contradicting sa home office. Dapat nagtatrabaho at pinupuno mo ng magpaparemind sa'yo na manood ng anime. Okay? So, hindi siya laging role model thing. Okay? Pero, also these same things carry personal meaning. Okay? Hindi lang sila basta distraction from work from time to time. They actually establish or re-establish yung self-image that I have for myself. Okay? Example lang, Kage. Like, Naruto is like the Kage dun sa mismong anime. Okay? And then the latest purchase I had is, I'm gonna have like a Naruto figure na kasing laki ko. Okay? That's a 1:1 ratio ng model. So I'm excited about that. It will arrive this Q3, mga 2 months from now. Okay. So makita nyo lang yan sa mga sunod na Zoom call. But why? Why? Kasi I'm embracing that identity talaga eh. So ito naman, itong tatlong figures na to. Nabili ko lang to because my wife challenged me na pwede ko lang bilhin tong set na to, na tatlo, out of the 1% of my income back in 2022. So I was able to achieve that. I was challenged, I was motivated. So nabili ko tong mga to. So whenever I look at this, nakikita ko na gosh, ang sipag ko noong 2022. Noong 2022 lang, kasi noong 2023, mas maliit na yung income ko. Okay pa rin naman, pero mas maliit na. Actually, ngayon 2024, mas malaki pa rin yung income ko ng 2022, ng 2023 and 2024. Okay, though di pa naman tapos yung year ngayon. Okay? This is also why, ipapamigay ko na tong tatlo na to. Because I'm also seeing na my identity as a father, kasi nagpaplano na kami magpamilya, cannot be stopped sa previous achievement ko ng 2022. So this is gonna be given to a coachee, eto sa barbero ko, that one is to another mentee. Okay? So may mga representations lang around me na nagpapaalala sa akin ng, okay, ito ako right now. And then, i-design ko rin siya at another point in time to be, ito yung susunod na ako, or this is what I am aiming for. Okay? So it can be as simple as that. What's in your environment, what's visually appealing, madalas mong nakikita, that will be associated to personal meaning. Okay? As long as you anchor it doon. Yeah. So you may want to try that. Parang identify, ano yung parts of this identity? What's an item? What's a color? What are words that associated doon? You would be reminded of that identity. So it's reinforced time and time again nang hindi mo na masyadong ini-effort. Yeah.
Thanks, Kage. Sabi nun.
Sure. And makalat here, walang laman yung desk ko, meaning di ako inspired. It depends. Pero mga ganun parang nakakatawa kasi yung tita ko, hindi naglilinis ng desk niya ever. Pero kabisado niya pa. Makalat, pero kabisado niya lahat. So kapag may ginalaw ka dun sa kalat na yun, may inis siya. Kasi for her, yun yung organized. Iba-iba talaga tayo eh. So yeah, do you? What works for you? And finding epiphany in Pareto. Pero seriously, yung sagot ni Kage about client getting versus systems kanina, work in progress pa din right now towards clarity from last week's session. Let me deep dive ako dito real quick. Client getting. Okay. There's a few beliefs na we have to address kasi when it comes to getting clients. Okay. So ang client getting basically an opportunity to work together with a person you can help solve a problem for or with. Okay? So ima-matchmake mo yung sarili mo sa something that you're capable to do that will solve another person's problem. Okay? That's basically client getting. It's not just getting paid for something or a project. It's matchmaking a problem to a solution. Okay? Your solution to someone else's problem. Okay? So in creating those kinds of opportunities, a few beliefs need to be addressed. Okay? First, is there enough para sa'yo? Meron ba talagang enough opportunity para sa'yo? Okay? Because madalas, if we believe na parang scarce ang opportunity, we will only play up to the level of what we think is possible. Okay? So even if pwede kang mag-try ng stuff that is well within your capabilities, mada-downplay mo yung sarili mong galawan if tingin mo, onti lang naman yung opportunity. Diba? So parang, pag onti yung opportunity, then it's less likely to happen. If it's less likely to happen, you won't really put so much effort into it. Does that make sense as a thought process? Diba? Kung wala namang, parang lang, I mean, for guys here, di ba, na usually tayo nang niligaw, di ba? Sad to say, di ba? Pag, pag feeling natin crush nila tayo, tapos crush rin natin sila, di ba mas ginagalingan natin? As opposed to tayo lang yung naghahabol, tapos feeling natin wala tayong pag-asa, eventually, di na natin ganun pagtsatsagaan. Because the odds are not in our favor. And it feels like it will not be worthwhile. At mas lalo ka lang masasaktan at mabubutas yung bulsa mo. Diba? It's the same thing for anything that we think. It's a make or break between, are the opportunities abundant enough or the opportunities are scarce? If you don't believe that the opportunities are abundant enough, that there's going to be enough for you when you make an effort for it, downplay yung efforts mo, sadya mo man o hindi sadya. Okay? That's one crucial thing. If you believe there's enough for everyone, even for yourself, may elevate yung game plan mo and what you're trying to do. Okay? Next is, okay, just marketing yourself real quick. Kung introverted ka, inbound marketing. Kung extroverted ka, outbound marketing. Inbound marketing is more about creating content and attracting the kinds of prospects na gusto mong makausap or the potential of working together if fit kayo. If outbound, ikaw yung nag-reach out, nag-initiate ng conversations. Okay? So you're sliding into their DMs, you're commenting on their posts, you're inviting them to talk, basically. Okay? So ikaw yung nag-engage. Hindi ikaw yung hinahabol. Okay? So introverted, outbound. Introverted is inbound, extroverted is outbound. You can still play around with the mix, pero it's more energy efficient to start with something na mas natural. So kung gusto mo mag-mix, 80-20 thing lang siya, not 50-50. Kung introverted ka, 80% inbound, 20% outbound. Kung extroverted ka, 80% outbound, 20% inbound. Okay? Just try it out na ganun. Now, this is doubly amplified, okay? Depending on gender. Okay? Because women are naturally the ones being pursued. Subconsciously, mas nag-a-align ng inbound strategies for women than for men. Men, okay, are naturally the ones who pursue. Okay? So mas nag-a-align ng outbound strategies for men, naturally. Okay? So if you haven't figured out what works for you in the way that you market yourself, start with the most natural muna, the formula that makes sense. Okay? What's your gender? Introverted ka ba or extroverted? And that will determine mas inbound ba o outbound yung mas kailangan mo explore at banatan na marketing for yourself. Of course, kung experience ka na in this whole game and you know a lot na with the way you market, the messaging, the offers, all of these things, you can play around na because there's enough mastery. Pero kung nagsisimula ka pa lang, wala pang clients, and then you're trying to get it like some traction pa lang in this, I suggest you play with what's more natural than play it around like you've mastered the craft. Okay. Bakit po paulit-ulit ko itong ginagawa? Anong pleasurable part about that tendency? Okay, so this is the learning, no? Sharing ng learning. Need to ponder about this one. Context more on strategy mobile games usage. Oh, nice. I'm a gamer too. Okay? And my wife doesn't get it. I try to explain in the sense na, pag nagdodota ako, na-enhance yung strategy skills ko. Of course, you won't believe it. Ginagawa ko lang daw excuse yun na related yun sa. But it does. It does. I actually believe na kaya mas na-enhance yung pag-strategize ko and the way that I see patterns and all of these things is because of all the challenges ng mga games na nilaro ko mula pagkabata. From Super Mario Brothers hanggang sa what's the latest that I'm playing? Elden Ring right now. So, lahat yun connected. Okay? My developing years, okay, like 0 to 7 years old, actually buong buhay ko naglalaro from 3 years old patas. So, yeah, ano yun, parang most people may not be able to get it, pero may correlation pa rin yun. So, look at it this way, na parang kung hindi mo siya mapigilan, anong advantage? So, if you get to identify what makes it pleasurable and what's the advantage of it, then maybe it's just a matter of cycling. Kasi kung saan siya advantageous, kailangan i-apply mo rin. So, it can be as easy as, pwedeng ako, I play 4 to 5 hours of Dota in a day, hop on 1 consultation call and 2 mentorship calls, and my Dota complements those calls. It's weird. Won't happen the same way with all people, pero may ganun tayo. Okay? Might as well sulitin yun if ever. Right. Okay. Wag i-label. Hindi ko magets yun. Wag i-label. Okay. What else? I guess we're all good. Like, we have 8 minutes before we fully hop off. Baka lang may stuff pa kayo na gusto mong i-share o itanong.
Lagi ako last na.
Go.
Since patapos na yung June, so parang may ka ba, parang ritual or something to our advice, something na para bago i-start yung second half of the year, parang may ganong, ka ba, routine ba sa'yo or parang may ginagawa? Into business man yan or life? Parang ganun. Curious
Sure,
lang.
sure. Yeah, I share too. Biggest business decisions happen by September. That's in all industries worldwide. What does that mean? Kino-consider lahat ng budget for the next year, lahat ng primary needs, lahat ng goals. Nawala yata ako.
Kamute ka kagad, but yeah, nakabalik ka na po.
Sorry. So yan, biggest business decisions worldwide in all industries, in all types of businesses happen in September. Okay? Pinaka-late na yan, October. Ano yung ginagawa during this time frame? Kino-consider yung budget for the next year. Ano lahat yung primary needs? Ano yung goals na kailangang i-hit? Diba? Ano yung trajectory of growth that they are aiming for? Meaning, there's highest chances na magkaroon ng long-term decision hires during September to October. If you're a service provider and you're aiming for annual retainers or 6-month retainers, then September, dapat before pa September and October, you get those conversations ready na. Okay? Kaya yung renewal ng 4 kong clients sa consulting is September. Okay? That's a strategic thing. So August is usually what we call the ghost month. Statistically, especially in the Western world, this is a vacation month for most CEOs, kumbaga high level decision makers in a specific company. Okay? So pahinga ang August madalas. Okay? July is where you need to double down in starting the conversations. Okay? You're planting seeds ng malupit. Okay? Because August is like sporadic communication. September is decision making. Okay? Now, bakit advantageous ang August? Kasi mas maraming napag-iisipan ang isang decision maker kapag nakapahinga siya. The things na hindi niya usually na-consider, the things na hindi niya usually na-realize. If you make an impact in your July conversations, you're gonna be top of mind, most likely top of mind, pagdating ng September decisions. Okay? So the most crucial month of the year is July. How you plant seeds by July determines a lot of long-term opportunities, hindi lang within the year, but for the next year. Yeah. Hindi ko masyadong share with everyone. But it's just a matter of the question triggered. Okay? That's a business thing. Okay? That's a business thing. Meron talagang cycles in the business world. Okay? Even sa pera, like bear months, Q4 is always a month where, di ba, Black Friday, Christmas season, iba yung flow ng pera, tsaka yung decision making ng mga tao even at that point. Yeah. Anyway, so the other thing is, just ask yourself, simplified goal setting. What's one thing na kapag nangyari ngayong taon, alam mong panalo na yung taon? Kahit wala nang ibang mangyari, kahit yun lang naging isang bagay na yun. Or actually, in a sense, what if wala ka ng ibang magawa, tas yun lang yung pwede mong magawa within the year? What's that one thing? Na alam mong, okay, this 2024 is sulit na season ng existence ko in the world. If you get to answer that, mag-iiba rin talaga yung decision making and choices and prioritization. Okay? Because sometimes it's not an income goal. Sometimes it's makipagbati ka sa lola mo na 2 years mo nang hindi kinakausap kasi may utang siya sa yung 2,750 na hindi niya pa binabayaran. It's actually different answers for different people. But yun, parang if you can solidify on the answer for that, mag-iiba yung galaw mo. Pusa. If it's clear enough, if it's important enough. So for me, that's preparing for a baby by next year. So everything right now, naka-enroll ako sa isang nutrition. Gosh, ito yung sabi ng financial advisor ko. Okay? So kinuwento ko sa kanya, kamusta daw yung health ko? Sabi niya. And sabi ko sa kanya, naka-enroll ako sa isang nutrition coaching program. Sabi niya ito yung reply niyo. Never thought I'd see both Harry and nutrition program in the same sentence ever. Ha ha ha. buwisit, di ba? I mean, financial advisor mo, tapos ginagano ka kausap. Pero, he takes care of me and my family, so it's all good. That's it, never in my life. Ito lang, nag-iisang taon sa buong buhay ko na feeling ko kailangan kong mas ayusin yung nutrition ko and intentionally invest in it. Okay? So, plano ko rin mag-Kaizen, pero ito yung mas nauna. Okay? Ang Kaizen yata is 40K, right? This is 54K, itong nutrition thing that I'm in. Okay? And I'm learning a lot. Lahat ng pamalit sa sugar. So, pwede mo pa rin ma-enjoy yung pagkain di ba? Stuff like that. But for me, it's that, optimal health. Can I nurse back myself to optimal health so that kaya ko pang habulin yung anak ko from 3 years old pataas? Okay? That's what's shaping my vision for life right now. Okay? And the choices, mas doon nakadepende. Okay? Yeah, but what's that? One thing. Ayan. It's actually 7 p.m. na. So maya-maya bubuksan na ng wife ko yung pinto kasi magyaya siya pumunta ng SM. Kasi nangako sa kanya na mag-SM kami tonight. But yeah, I really appreciate this time. Maraming salamat for your presence, everyone.